This is the fat rat. The fat rat.
And we're live. Oh, I don't have the... No! I don't have the CFC moving. It's not spinning.
Cancel it, restart, you fucked it up.
Spin, boy, spin. Spin, my lad. My boy. My lad. Do the spins. Alright. Yeah, we're continuing to paint. Because, I'm like... It's on the docket. I've done everything on my to-do list. It was a huge to-do list, but I need to finish it. We need to do it. Live! I am. I'm not losing my mind. You are.
I am.
Yeah.
Playing Magic for 20 hours and 2
That
days.
that is
Fucking brain.
absolutely losing your mind. You are going insane.
I haven't
Although-
felt this way since I attended Grand Prix Vegas.
Doof.
Just
Although...
the level of brain melt. I don't have a brain anymore. I'm just autopiloting every move, and every single one of them is wrong.
Although I can't really talk, you know why? Because I spent the last 3 days, because I had one of my, like, mini crashes, where it's just like, okay, I need to, like, just stop for a couple days and I'll be good. I spent, like, 95% of it playing Gladius, which is, if you've played, like, Age of Wonders or Civilization, it's that but 40k, and done, like, 3/4 as good as any of the other 2 games I mentioned. But just playing, like, a single, like, 30 hours, still haven't, like, won a giant single match with Imperial Guard. And you know why I haven't finished? Because, right at the end, because I prefer to play those games with ginormous maps, with way too many, like, players in the game, like, even though it's all AI, I'm playing by myself for, you know, just unwind. 10 total factions in the game. And the last 2 of them, at least I think it's the last 2, because you can't keep track when the match is like 30 hours long. And there's very heavy fog of war, like, holy crap, fog of war. Like, as soon as you lose line of sight, you have no idea what's going on. It's like, oh, so there's a ridge right there. I think there's like 14 Necron units behind that ridge. I'm not certain. That's just a hunch. That's all you got. That's a lot of the game. It's like, oh, there's one dude over there. Let me go, like, knock him out just so, like, they can't see me. Oh, hey, I found their entire army. That's cool. But yeah,
Warhammer, but with AR goggles on, augmented reality goggles, so it's got like real fog of war animations for the models and shit.
Pretty much exactly, actually. Like, short, like, I mean, you're stuck to like a hexagonal map. I mean, yeah, you're stuck with like a hex map, but besides that, yeah, pretty much, it pretty much is just playing Warhammer. However, unlike the actual tabletop, the Bane Blades actually feel like Bane Blades in that they are invincible. It takes so much to kill a Bane Blade, and if you're actually, like, paying attention, they can't kill a Bane Blade. They don't. The problem is, Imperial Guard weapons, for being able to be very numerous and very tough, don't kill much in return. It takes a lot of guns to kill anything back. So it's a lot of very slow build-up of your forces. But in like the actual tabletop, Bane Blades are fairly easy to kill, which is why no one runs them, unfortunately. Actually, I don't know. Maybe some people are starting to run them now that vehicles are, generally speaking, actually tough. Like I know Space Marines is a lot of tanks right now. A lot of tanks. But anyway, so the last two factions, best I can tell, are Necrons. They're both Necrons, which is not great because Necrons are pretty deadly, and what's worse, very fast. Because if you know Necrons, you know a lot of their stuff hovers or flies. That's the way it works in the game too, and like in the tabletop. So there's a pretty sizable body of water in the middle of the map, or at least taking up a lot of the right side of the map, best I can tell, because I've not scouted the whole map still. After like 30 hours, I have scouted about half that map. Because I spawn in the bottom center, like right up against the edge of the map, and I've been surrounded on both sides very closely by two orcs up until recently when I killed one of them and the other one was killed by the Necrons, actually. But in orc AI, play like orcs, very aggressively. If you leave them alone for like 2 turns, they'll suddenly just rush you. They'll bum rush you. So I've been playing. Have you studied in any way the Battle of the Bulge?
No.
Okay.
No, I have not
Alright.
studied the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh, come on. You didn't have like a intense World War II phase that lasted, I don't know, like 20 plus years?
Oh, geez, no.
Okay. Story time, okay? It's 1944. Yeah, it's winter 1944 going into 1945, if memory serves.
Oh, real thing. I thought it was like a war.
No, it's World War II. Battle of the Bulge. World War II. It's like one of the most important battles of World War II.
How dare you? I was like, how dare you ask me if I studied Warhammer lore?
No, it's real life lore.
Real life lore? I don't want to study that either. I'd rather write my own.
No, real life lore is so great because most of it doesn't make any sense until way after the fact. When you think about how the events transpired from the time, you would be so confused because a lot of it's so dumb.
A witch, and we're just like, what the fuck's a witch?
Yeah, dude. Okay, sidetrack. Also in World War II, the second battle that America was involved in happened like almost immediately after after Pearl Harbor. I assume you know what Pearl Harbor is, right?
Never heard of it, bro.
Okay.
What the fuck is that? Sounds cringe as hell.
It was. But anyway, almost immediately after, there was another island, like, further out in the Pacific from Hawaii, and there were a bunch of Marines on there. And, this is one of the moments that define Marine history. They had a bunch of artillery positions defending the island, right? Like, it was mostly just artillery and then, like, an airstrip. And, like, that was it. And in Japan lined up a bunch of ships outside it. But they were hesitant to get close because... Well, no, sorry. The second day, they were hesitant to get close. You know why? Because the first day, they were like, oh, it's like, you know, a couple thousand Marines, and we have, like, 50,000 troops and, like, 20 ships, and it's, like, one of the biggest, like, actual combat fleets, or combat fleet formations, in modern history. Not a problem, right? Yeah, no, those Marine artillery gunners were effectively snipers, like maximum range, perfect accuracy for their guns. Like, they sank in battleships in minutes. I'm not joking, it was horrific. Eventually Japan, through a long, like, plane bombing campaign, managed to actually get troops on the beach. And then they learned that, oh, hey, Marines are way more vicious in close quarters than they are with big guns. Oh no. This is going very badly. They're outnumbered like literally like 7 or 8 to 1 in ground combat, and they are
POV, this is going very badly.
yeah, it's not even oh, they're doing a very good job defending. They are consistently charging the Japanese and running like overrunning them with just infantry. It's just infantry. Like the Marines. Okay, here's something that like us over in the US like don't really hear about pretty much very often when you look at World War II. We're all like, oh yeah, the Japanese were like fanatic warriors, right? The Japanese among themselves and like how they talk to their own people, like their propaganda machine, were like the Americans must have recruited for Marines from their prisons and insane asylums because these men are the most bloodthirsty animals on the planet. They were yeah, yeah, exactly. They were terrified of Marines after the first few battles, and this was one of the reasons, was this battle. And it was so...
Marines will spit on your respect with a smile, and Japanese people were just like, what?
Yeah, no, seriously, like part of what made the Japanese so like crazy and seemingly suicidal like later in the war was because they were afraid of what the Marines would do to them if they lived. Stuff like that. Like it was like Marines were OP. Like Marines were really OP. So okay, so this war, this battle is going in the Marines' favor, like pretty heavily, and it's all being conducted, like commanded from this one bunker with a bunch of telephone lines going out of it, right? It has this one commander in a bunker that's like, all right, here, do that, shoot that, right? But it's like World War II, so like those telephone wires, right? Pretty important, right? Or you can't tell what's going on. Okay, so the Japanese are bombing. By the way, not hitting anything for the most part. Like they are achieving like no casualties. Also, the few Marine pilots there, like, man,
evacuated the city. It wasn't that hard.
Oh, there wasn't even like a city there. It was like it was a bunch of Marines and a bunch of like just civilian construction contractors, and most of the contractors actually volunteered to help in the defense when they realized the Japanese were on a doorstep. They're like, oh, well, I guess we're not getting out. Give us guns. And the Marines were like, yeah, we are. Here are some machine guns. Just sit here and shoot at anything that moves. It's real simple. Like, and that's actually like good combat doctrine, by the way. If you have civilians but you're on the defense, just put them in defensive positions where they just have to look forward and shoot, and they're shockingly effective. Right? Because like you can't screw that up, can you? It's not it's not intensive maneuvers. Just like here's how you feed the ammo. Here's how you pull the trigger. Okay, you two, you got a machine gun. Like go at it, and like it works. What's that?
Teach the ANA a couple of things.
Yeah, right. So there's this guy in a bunker that's trying to command all this, and it's doing pretty well. Oh yeah, now Marine pilots are like getting like brutal, like Call of Duty level KD ratios on the pilots before their runways bomb too much that they can't take off anymore. So in every way, this is going terribly for Japanese. You know how the battle ends? The bombing eventually, just through sheer number of bombs they're dropping, but not hitting anything really that important, eventually hit the wires, the communication wires to the bunker. So eventually, the guy's in the bunker for like 2 days and was like, wait, there's like nothing coming back. Is anyone receiving my orders? I have no idea what's actually going on. Because if he has no communication out, it means there's no communication in. So like, he's just in the dark. Fog of war. It's back, baby. So eventually, he leaves the bunker and goes running around trying to find his Marines. Like, what is even going on? I haven't heard anything in like forever. And it's like, well... And he sees all these Japanese flags everywhere, not realizing this is like a cultural thing. These are like, I don't remember what they're called, but they're just like flags the Japanese carry into combat and just like put places. They don't actually mean anything. It's just like they were there at some point, at some time. Well, no, it's not.
We won this spot.
Well, it's not even that, actually, because a lot of those places were not actually Japanese-controlled areas, or they weren't anymore anyway. Yeah.
Oh, our spot. My spot, my flag, my name on it, my spot.
So he sees all these Japanese flags everywhere, so it's like, oh man, I guess we're losing. I gotta find my dudes and have them surrender, because like we're apparently getting overrun. that was apparently not the case at all, but he eventually did round up, like, go from Marine emplacement to emplacement. They were still doing great, by the way. Like, without orders, they were, like, just doing what Marines do.
Group of Japanese soldiers, like one squad, goes out there, plants a bunch of these flags, hoping it'll fool the enemy into surrendering. Next thing you know, they wake up in the middle of the night to an entire tank battalion rolling in, thinking there's an invasion on the way. They're just like, well, we die, I guess. Guess we die.
That actually happened in the Korean War a few times. I got stories about that too. Well, we can touch on that. But okay. So the officer goes around and is like, okay, we gotta surrender, because I guess we're losing. And a bunch of the Marines were like, they didn't want to surrender, but eventually we're like, okay, well, I guess you give the orders, right? But like, we're doing great. If you couldn't tell, we're surrounded by Japanese corpses, and we still got ammo. But eventually they surrender. That's how the Japanese won that battle. Was because, like, the lieutenant, I believe it was the lieutenant, misconstrued the situation because of these cultural Japanese flags that were not actually, like, victory flags. It was just, like, a thing they did. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember what they meant exactly. It was just a thing they did.
It's just our version of Valentine's Day. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, right? So,
it was just Winterschnassen.
in a similar way of America just being OP in war, pretty much, Battle of the Bulge, okay? It's winter, or maybe it's 1945. Let me look it up real quick. I'm trying to remember what year it was. Yeah, winter 1944. Started on December 16th and lasted an exact month to January 16th, 1945.
Battle for the Bulge, aka what they call it when I go to a bar. They gotta fight over it.
True and pilled.
True and pilled. What pill? Aspirin, because it gave me a headache.
Yes. Okay, it's called the Battle of the Bulge because it was Germany's last-ditch counteroffensive against the rapidly encroaching allies, mostly U.S. Let's be real. Like, it was Americans plus a little English, a little French, a little I think there were a couple like Polish detachments that had gone out of Poland over to England. Some Australians. So Venom. Oh yeah. Venom's grandfather fought in the Battle of the Bulge. Okay, here's how we got on this, Venom. I was telling him about how I was playing Gladius, which is a 40k strategy game, which now I almost wanted to switch to, like, doing that because it'd be, well, nah, I'm super late. It wouldn't make any sense. I just want to do it, but it doesn't make any sense for viewers. Sup, Diablo? But anyway, I ended up playing the first, like, 3/4 of this match like how the Battle of the Bulge was fought. Because I spawned in and quickly realized that I was surrounded. But if there's one thing the Imperial Guard have in spades, it's artillery. So the Battle of the Bulge was a town that more or less got surrounded in the Ardennes. It was mostly occupied by paratroopers. I don't remember the exact name, even though, like, I know it. It's like is it the 101?
101 Airborne?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is where they got famous, I think. Well, yeah, actually, if you watched Band of Brothers, that's what I'm talking about. The end of Battle of Brothers was the Battle of the Bulge. That was the Ardennes.
That may be good enough for other companies, but that will not be good enough for Easy Company.
Yo, for real. Cause easy ain't easy.
Easy ain't easy.
But how they won it, even though they were massively outnumbered, massively outgunned, and it was the middle of winter, so it sucked, was primarily their mortar teams. The commander had their mortar team stay super mobile, so it just kept moving up and, you know, around, and every time the Germans made an attack, the mortar team would just run over to just behind that line and just blow the crap out of the incoming Germans. And that's what I did in the Gladius. Was I had I was building defenses all around the approaches, and I just put a bunch of artillery in the middle of it. And the range of the artillery in that game is nuts. So every time orcs showed up on any of my borders, the first thing they saw was an artillery barrage. No matter where they came from. And I just
I guess that still works, I guess, whatever.
held out until the orcs got killed by Necrons. Hey Venom, you want to join the chat and tell the story of your grandfather? Because I feel like you tell it better than I do. Do you have perms? Also, how you doing, Diablo? Besides relaxing, how are things? How is life?
Am currently lifing. Can confirm.
I am lifing pretty hardcore today, I have to say. Putting a kid down again? Alright, fair enough. Do you want me to tell it? Life is bad, great at the same time. Sorry?
Me when?
Yeah. Me when. Well, I mean, I feel it. Like, I've had some times recently where it's like, yeah, on paper, life is awesome. Me, I'm exhausted and, like, losing my mind. Go for it. Sorry to hear our lifing. I feel pretty good about my lifing, actually. I set up the new schedule of doing the new contract for, like, morning into afternoon. Well, actually, okay, here's my day, 6 days a week. I get up, I get on a treadmill, power walk 2 miles, usually while watching, right now I'm watching through the Star Wars Clone Wars, the animated, like the 3D animated series, picking that back up again. Things with 9 are going even better, but home is still difficult at the moment. That's fair. Because I saw the new Ahsoka show, like I've known about for a little bit, but like I was like, all right, I kind of want to watch that, but that means I should probably go back and like get properly caught up, and I'm in like most of the way through season 3 of the Clone Wars, so let me pick that back up, and that seems to be going pretty well. So I got up today, got on the treadmill, 2 miles, showered, got to work on the big contract. I made a fair bit of progress across 3.5 hours, and right when I was supposed to stop and cook dinner, because it was my dinner and dishes day, was right about when I ran into a decently annoying puzzle, basically. Like, I'm just running into an error, and I haven't figured out why. What's weird is that this was working in my local dev version of the website, like when I stopped working on it before. I don't understand why it's not working now. It's just basically importing a file from our off-site server, and it's just testing the import to make sure that my database is working. But like it can't connect to the database for some reason. But it's like this was working before because I was using it for testing before I launched this, the new version of the site. It's like it makes no sense. So right when I ran up against a puzzle that I need to just think on, was time to cook. So then I cooked, and then I ate, and then went grocery shopping. Oh, and while I was doing the programming, I did all my laundry, so that was pretty good. And went to grocery store, had a bit of a snafu and all that, but I can get into that later. And now I'm streaming. And that minus the groceries and laundry is basically the oh, and the cooking dinner part. That's basically my plan 6 days a week now. Treadmill, program, stream. Let's go. Using an Argo workflow? Maybe? I have no idea. I just kind of made up my workflow as I went, so I got no idea. It might be a thing.
You got that Wells Fargo workflow.
Wells Fargo.
You know, it's 3 to 4 business days after it's supposed to be done type workflow.
True.
Pending payment type workflow. You know how it be.
Everything I do, yeah. It's like 4 days.
Pending payment type beat for sure.
It's a Kubernetes. Oh, yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about. I don't remember what that workflow looks like, but maybe. Like I said, man, if I actually studied and became educated in anything I did, I might actually be successful at things, but, you know, that's just not my way.
Idiot.
Just,
That's
yeah.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah,
Such a
exactly. I
moron.
just fall in,
God.
I just fall into opportunities where they're like, "Hey, do this," and I'm like, "Cool, I don't know how to do it, but I just did the thing." Um, both. I have a Docker Compose YAML, but it's the actual project is Laravel, so it's primarily PHP with your standard like JavaScript and HTML on views basically, because it uses Blade from Laravel. But yeah, it's a Docker. Let's see, uses Docker containers with Docker Compose YAML, which utilizes Laravel's sail setup so that Laravel fits in nicely with the Docker part. So with the front end database of MySQL through PHP So like, except for the actual Laravel code, I actually have an interface for everything else. I got Docker's interface, I got my PHP MyAdmin. Have I checked the database and mounted for both input and output? I believe so. Well, yeah, because it all functions. The only thing that doesn't function right now is the FTP importing. And I'd assume exporting, but I'm not going to export anything from this. It's the dev site. Man, that'd be bad. Because I'm going to mess up the backend server if I mess with exporting stuff. But I mean, if the import works, the export should work. Guessing not necessarily. No. It's FTP. I want to say S3 is part of the FTP. Hold on, I gotta look at my files real quick. What category is S3 in? Yeah. It's I'm using FTP. Yeah, like Laravel can do S3, but I'm just not using S3. Postgres database. No, it's SQL. At least if I'm remembering what Postgres is. Man, when people say words you've seen because your stuff can do that, but you're not actually doing it, and I'm like, I've seen that word. I've seen that somewhere. It's in there somewhere, but I'm not using it. Yeah. Um. No, I can tell you're also in the same, like, industry from all that. We're just using a bunch of different tools. So, like, it's not really useful. Like, you could be like, oh, hey, I got a Postgres problem, and I'm like, cool, here's how you'd fix that in SQL. And I'm like, and you're like, huh? No, it's not connecting to the SQL database at all, because I know this because the error it's giving me is that saying it can't find the very first row of the first table in the database being connected to, which is not even the one that's being called on, which means that it's not connecting to the entire database. There's disconnect in the configuring, which is weird because, like I said, it was working before, but now that I'm going into it, it's not. So, like, I'm querying, let's say, like, the tickets table, but it's saying it can't find the company table, which is just the first table in the thing. And I'm like, well, that's great. That means it's not connecting. No, because I'm the only one that can get in there. I'm the only one that can get in there, and as of right now, I've basically rebuilt all of the infrastructure on like a brand new server we had to move to make the Docker part of the thing work. So like, I'm the only one that can do any of this.
You do that on purpose, so you have return.
Also, the front end thing still works perfectly fine. It's just my local installation of it like isn't working, which is the weird and annoying part. Like, you know, the front end still
applies to your body and your brain.
Yeah, my public face is working great. My private life is falling apart. Exactly.
A perfectly working body. You just don't have the brain to keep up with. Otherwise,
yeah.
Now it's just noodle arm and not fun. There's tapped. I hate it. I hate you. I blame you. I hate tap.
Yeah, it's only my local thing. Just suddenly can't FTP to the other server. I don't know why.
What?
I even checked to make sure that my FTP settings were the same as the front end, because like I said, the front end's still working just fine. Like, because it has 4 different FTP things it does daily. There's 3 months, or no, how long has it been? Nearly 2 months since I made those. Still working fine. Yeah, it's so weird. I've had this ping sing in my Discord for a while. What is this? Oh, got updates on the Dwarven Gunners.
Do you know Magic the Gathering stuff much?
I know how to play. I don't really know much beside that. I know what colors I forget to do. Windows turn off the port. I don't know, guys. I'm using like default ports. I haven't really messed with the ports. Also, like, I can get into the PHP my admin just fine. Like, I can access the database it's trying to pull stuff down into, but when it pulls stuff down into, it can't find it. So it's definitely a configuration issue, I think.
Forgot to use mutable. Yeah, I just have a very straightforward deck. Tribal humans. Whole goal is to just play cheap humans that do good things off each other, which usually results in giving each other 1/1 counters and shit, and I just want to kill you fast. So I
nice.
Win turn 4 or 5, or I lose.
That's not far off from my strategy. Although mine's usually turn like 6, 7, 8. Sometimes 9 or 10, because I do red-green, where I do Godzilla lists, basically. I get some really big green monster, and then enchant the crap out of it with red, and then just bum rush you with one big attack you can't block. And then all your life's gone.
Right now is a great time to do a draft for that, because right now that's like one of the top deck listed drafts, because red-green is like the top 2 strongest colors, and red-green big stuff is like a full archetype they leaned into in making the set for drafting.
Nice.
So it's like literally your ideal draft set.
Yay!
They just had a Baldur's Gate set right before the Baldur's Gate game came out.
Nice. So yeah, I appreciate the help, Diablo. I like that you also agree with my prognosis that it's probably a configuration error, because like there's no obvious reason why this should not be working, because all other signs say that it should be completely fine. So it's something in my configurations. But anyway, we should talk about Warhammer, because there's been a bunch of reveals for the Space Marine Codex, and they affect you.
Yeah. You in particular.
Yeah, you in particular.
You have your name written down on a whiteboard in the middle of the balance room.
They were like, this guy, wreck him. Like, this guy must stop.
Everything this guy does, we want to stop that.
Yeah, they tried.
When that happens.
They tried
one complaint turned in when one player faced this guy, and we're turning off everything he's ever done.
They were like, this guy's spitting out how many mortal wounds? No, we gotta stop that. And then they tried to bounce Battle Pass, and they're, did I say Battle Pass? No, to balance Data Slate. Bounce Pass, Data Slate? I don't know, what? Yeah. The battle data. Gotta call my sister to be banging up on it. Alright, fair enough.
Can you tell us the story about when the Space Marines had to take over Tilted Towers?
Actually, yeah.
Let's not get off topic or go on for hours. Continue what you were saying before.
Uh,
Get back to it.
yeah, it was that time that Horus saved the Emperor. Um,
Who is? Sounds like a game mode from Saints Row the Third.
who? What?
Sounds like a game mode from Saints Row the Third. They have a game mode called Horde mode, which is a horde mode, but it's spelled HWHORE because it's a bunch of hordes who run at you. Because that game was made by
Degenerates.
Like it's an R-rated game for.
Yeah, I know what Saints Row is.
Yeah, it's an R-rated game, but made for 8-year-olds. Like the R-rated
Sigh.
8-year-old sense of humor.
Sigh. I was
Swords as a toilet.
I was like 15 when the first Saints Row came out, okay? Like, I'm aware of Saints Row.
Disgusting. Alright, I fucking die on the next turn if I don't pull something out of my ass.
I remember Saints Row coming out, and everyone was like, oh, hey, it's a GTA clone. And Saints Row 2 came out, like, oh, okay. It's actually kind of good, but it's like a Saints Row parody. And Saints Row 3 came out, it's like, wait, are you telling me you're, like, the president and aliens are invading? Excuse me? And it had the coolest, like, opening sequence ever. I don't know anything about Saints Row 3, or maybe it was 4, I forget which. But the opening sequence was so cool. Actually, they're like walking through the White House as it's getting blown up by aliens, and he's like, I told you, a gun every 6 feet, as like the walls are opening up and just pulling out like M249 saws and like SPAS 12s and like any other gun you could want, like possibly, and they're just coming out. Literally the walls are opening up in the White House and just guns everywhere, and it's like, I'm like, wow, this is so dope. Imagine if the actual White House is like that, like a painting of the painting of the Delaware crossing just slides like off to the side and just shows like a small armory. Be so
I follow
awesome.
the conspiracy theory that the White House is actually one of those like giant, like war mech things from Warhammer, like the giant fucking things.
The Titans.
And
It's a Titan.
It's a Titan, and one day it'll just stand up and walk away.
Okay, on a real note, it is like a known public fact that the White House is in fact super armored and prepared for basically an all-out military like assault. It is like
It's like a full-on Iron Dome system too.
Yeah, yep. Like if you want to try to assault the White House legitimately, good luck. You're gonna need something bigger than tanks. Like that building is prepared for like full-on conventional war with a near-peer adversary. No joke. It is a strong point of strong points. Like every single wall and window is like
you can hit almost any point of the White House with a Hellfire missile, and no shrapnel will make it to the inside.
yeah, something like that. It's insane.
Like, even you can just hit like the windows outright and it'll like fuck up the windows, because the windows are actually just for fucking show. They don't actually lead to anything.
Some of them, yeah. I don't think all of them, but some of them, yeah. Yeah, it's actually just a bunker wall.
There's actually just a wall back there.
Yeah, it's just a bunker wall. Like, good luck, pretty much.
He pushes a button and Sandy Cheeks' dome from SpongeBob appears over the White House.
Like, I was
attackers with their karate.
I was listening to a video earlier by the Habitual Line Crosser from like 6 months ago, and this is a guy that his like job is to he's like former military, and his job is basically to like keep up with like what the military is doing, more or less. Like, I forget like for what reason, because he's not in the military anymore, but anyway, he has a really awesome YouTube channel and releases these really cool shorts. But anyway, so he did a more long form video of like, okay, so like if America went to conventional war with Russia, and it's like, alright, this is what that would look like. In conventional war, no unconventional nonsense, we would absolutely body them, like no question, like not even like bloody close. Like, it'd be like, I don't think you understand. First off, US knows everything that goes on anywhere ever. like, you know, just because you didn't know about a thing, like say the Chinese balloon or Russian sub off California's coast or whatever, just because you didn't know about it did not mean that like the US didn't know about it. Because like after the Chinese balloon thing, US came, like the Washington came out later and was like, yeah, no, we watched that like take off in China and watched it the whole way over. Like we allowed that to come over here. Because yeah, it's part of the US's actual military and diplomacy strategy is that we have to take a black guy first, basically. Like, I don't know if you know this, Pearl Harbor was allowed to happen. We knew about it like 3 days before. Or 2 days before, something like that. But
Or like the fuckers of bluffing, right? We did nothing.
well, it was like Roosevelt was trying to get the U.S. into the war, but like the people didn't want anything to do with another European war after World War One. But Roosevelt's like, no, we gotta do it. So like he basically bullied Japan into attacking, even though Japan's like, there's no way we win this. This is not a good idea. They knew that from the get-go. They knew everything was dead and done as soon as they attacked the US, but
Oh my god, I'm a moron!
you are.
I forgot protection from a color meant that you can't be blocked by that color either. I've had a win con in my hand so many games and had no clue. Oh my god.
Wah,
Oh,
wah,
I'm gonna
wah.
throw up. I'm gonna fucking throw up. Oh my god. Anyways, as you were saying,
Yeah, we had put like really vicious oil embargoes on Japan. So they were running out of fuel like wholesale. Like they couldn't fuel anything. And while they were at war with China and almost Russia. Japan's like, okay, we either try to knock America out of the war immediately so we can get back to like getting fuel from literally anywhere, or we're done. So like all cards on the board, Pearl Harbor, and America saw that coming 2 days away and was like, yeah, we're gonna allow this to happen because then we're gonna go out and like fix the planet. Because the only way we're gonna get the US people on board with a war is if, well, we allow someone to beat the crap out of us first, and it's been that way since, basically.
yeah.
We allow someone, like, we decide we're gonna get involved somewhere, we wait until someone's dumb enough to, mess around, and then we allow everyone to find out. What's up, Zophiana? Man, I was concerned about doing such a short stream tonight, but hey, all the regulars have popped out today. Man, my kick booed me out and now wants a 2FA that I never set up. So, how do people keep having so many problems with kick? I understand it's not the greatest website ever, but I am literally, like, on the website every single day, and I don't have any of these problems.
It's the
Mobile version?
app.
Oh,
I
the
only
mobile
ever used
version
the
probably
app and
sucks.
Had lots of random little ones.
Oh.
Lots of unnecessary little deeds.
Yeah, the desktop isn't, like, great, but I haven't had any, like...
I just realized I'm playing against the pay-to-win legend, bro. He's using a fucking Chandra deck full of Chandra planeswalkers. He's got Chandra sleeves and a Chandra fucking, like, icon.
So, a
God
Warhammer player?
That fucking pay-to-winner.
I want
At
to do
least when
stuff,
I
but I don't
play,
want
it's
to spend
just
$1
like
million
fucking
in infantry. Here's what you do, Zofran. Instead of spending $1 million in infantry, you spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on vehicles. They still haven't revealed anything further, so I'm still like, yeah, mechanized blitzkrieg with heavy infantry is still the way to go. Hence, I'm still painting very slowly and inefficiently these heavy intercessors, which I need to like speed up on, honestly. But still, yeah. Yeah, I'd get some Jeff Ramsey going on.
Yeah, I have enough legendaries to make a fucking planeswalker deck. Maybe that's what I'll look into. How
There
many
you go.
rares will I need to make a planeswalker deck?
Listen, Warhammer's the reason I don't actually play Magic, okay?
Yeah, because you don't have the money to. At least with
Yeah.
Arena, you don't have to pay money to do stuff. Well,
Right.
there is some like pay to enter things, but you can do it through currency you get in game. It just takes a bit. But
The 22nd of Australian Firstborn.
Because you get rewards back for winning, and if you win enough, if you're good at the game, you can do what's called going infinite. There are some people that whenever a new set comes out with a draft, They just go infinite with drafts over the couple of weeks until they've gotten every card in the set.
So, Zophiana, what you're saying is you want to start a whole new army before the codex for the army has come out in the new edition. I can't see how this could possibly go wrong. He just says yes.
Wait, have they set up some kind of like infinite combo? Okay, no, they were just being weird. They
You're just being weird.
They triggered the Chandras off each other like 4 times in a row, and I was like, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Alright, well, if he doesn't play a creature or kill one of my creatures this turn, he dies.
In a parking lot guard, I want boots on the ground. Spicy. I would wait until the codex comes out before you, like, buy a bunch of stuff, to be honest. Maybe set up a new army fund for a little while. You just drop excess cash into for a while and just, like, wait. So you don't potentially get all that stuff, and then you don't get all that stuff, and then, like, it sucks to actually use it immediately. Like, you can build up to that over time, and then play it when it's good, but, like, yeah, right now, that's kinda dicey. You find to recast a hazard. I got Judicious sort of showed you, as well as the burb seals, and waiting for the Raven Guard backpacks and biologist arms, ripping a tunic open. Ooh. I have that same weapons pack coming in eventually. I think I got 2 packs of that, actually.
No, not Doodoo McGee.
I'm not sure what I'm putting that sword on right now, but, cause all the dudes I'm currently making have, if they're melee, they're power fists, but, you know, eventually. I mean, I have totally bought bits that I did not intend to use for years later. It was like, I know I'm not going to use this for a long time, but it's really cool, so I'm just going to throw it in the bits box. Use it later, eventually.
Motherfucker's got a Mox Amber in his deck. Power 9 casually, because all it takes is a legendary wild card.
Because I'm not spending like $200 for 5 guardsmen. Well, that's what I mean. Like, our guardsmen will still be good when the codex comes out. Maybe, I don't know.
Now, we play Peddler. Fuck his hand over. Wahaha.
So...
Let me take a look. What do you have?
What?
Some good cards. I'm gonna take them from you, bitch.
Quietly hides behind the Gideon tribal deck I built. I think that might be pretty close to what
awesome.
Sai's doing.
You.
Is that basically what you're doing, Sai?
No, Gideon's a planeswalker.
Well, yeah, but he's white
Just
and
have
human.
humans, they're just creatures. And I'm white-black.
And you're still white. Like, Gideon works with that, if I remember right.
But I still get a huge bonus onto applying for colleges. For the 50%.
Okay. Okay then. Be that way.
Yeah, no, his is doing planeswalkers. Like, his deck's nothing the same as a creature deck, you know? He's not winning the same way at all. It's probably some kind of combo, or maybe Gideon's make a lot of tokens and shit.
Gideon does make a lot of tokens.
Into a creature. I know
Gideon...
one of the Gideons turns himself into a creature with one of his abilities.
Oh.
Like, a 0-cost ability to make him a creature with X, where X is the amount of loyalty counters on him, something like that.
I just remember he goes with lots of small human guys that interact with each other, like, pretty nicely. Because you have to play as him a bunch when you do the story missions. It's a very what?
That sounds like a very fun deck, though, Gideon Tribal.
Yeah.
I used to have a Esper Super Friends, or not Esper, sorry, American Super Friends, Red, White, Blue Super Friends, all planeswalkers.
America.
Nobody wanted to play with me because my turns would take too long.
Also hide spider token tribal.
spider tribal, oh god, don't play against somebody with an arachnophobia. They actually won't be able to play against you. They'll be itching for hours.
Yeah. That reminds me, I still gotta figure out when I'm doing this. Like,
you
what is the goal that I do the Subnautica playthrough? Because I really don't care for open water. Like, I see.
Download a horror mod too. Makes it even worse.
Oh no, I don't like that.
Jump scare
Like,
mod.
literally
Like,
nothing
jump
is.
scare sound effects and shit flashing lights.
Nothing in No Man's Sky is even that dangerous, really, after a certain point. Like, you can kill, like, almost anything pretty easy after a certain point. And I have an S-class multi-tool, so I can shoot basically anything to death within a few moments. But even still, I see, like, wide open waters on a planet, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep flying until I find a continent. I'm not sending down any island
Have you
here.
ever played a game called Outer Wilds?
No.
It's a space exploration, like mystery sort of game, where like you're putting a guy, you have a spaceship. It's like 3D, like you run around open world, and there's
You're
a
a
bunch
guy.
of planets you go around, and you like fly your spaceship to these planets, and you do small puzzles and shit. But you're really just trying to figure out what's going on around you. You're not given any context, and there is an ending, but you have to figure it all out. And it also has some horror elements to it. Like there's a couple planets that are just fucking terrifying, but otherwise it's like super whimsical mystery, like space shit, super interesting. I think it's a game you would actually love, and it's like not that long. It's like
This
you could probably
isn't-
play the whole game in like 10 hours, maybe less than that, like 5 hours.
This is another reason why I don't play Magic. Sophia's like, looks at the Gideon that gives you an emblem that says you can't lose the game while you control a Gideon. That's just
Dude.
disgusting.
I just played against a ring deck against a person who chanted one of his fucking creatures with "You cannot die if you lose if your HP hits 0." I fucking got him into like -17 in one attack. Shoulda won. The ring decks are just so OP. I'm so sick and tired of it. I should be able to check a box and never have to look at them ever. They're intentionally made to be overpowered so that they could sell more cards, and I hate it.
Wait, you mean like 40k does?
Yeah, like Wizards of the Coast shit too. It's just, make things stronger intentionally so that they can be
So,
bought more often. I hate when companies do that. That's when video games became dog shit. The moment companies started doing that.
yeah.
Anger, rage. I can never be satiated. I am upset all the time, no matter what.
So, speaking of which, I'm wondering if I want to push a campaign of terror, or if I want to play nice this time. Because like I don't have a lot of options just yet, because we're not powerful enough individually just yet to do crazy stuff. But in that huge D&D game, be tons of people. We now have a star fortress on a lake. We just got a bunch of automatons to use for labor and even combat. They're all like short bow, short sword type combatants, basically. However, incoming, with no way of really parlaying without sacrificing 2 player characters, so that's not happening, even though one of them has a very poor reputation with the party right now. The other one's our sheriff, so yeah. 2,500 strong army incoming.
Damn, I just have too many fucking
Follow help.
swamps.
Oh, good lord, you're allowed. Let me fix that. Step, Sophiana. I see.
I realized, why talk in YouTube chat when I can talk in actual chat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
right?
have perms. I think those are like leftover from when we were playing the
Yes.
leftover from when we were playing was it tabletop simulator.
Freaking 3,000 point game.
Yeah.
The freaking White Skulls versus Imperial Fists.
That game was a thing.
Yeah. Extremely stupid.
We should do another one, and this time I should set up so people can actually hear your audio, because I did it dumb with that one, and no one can hear you in the recording.
Lol. Cable
For-
just talked to himself.
Yeah, pretty much. It was kind of a... Actually, was it that one or was it just the sisters one? I don't remember which, but I know one of the games we had, you could only hear me,
Was
and
it
it was
talking
really
about the
weird.
Gideon deck?
Yes, it was me talking about
It
Gideon.
was you? Okay, yeah. I have a humans deck right now, like the meta one. I just don't have the good lands.
Yeah, I mean,
Historic.
I don't play like on Arena or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, mostly I play on like third party free simulators,
Yeah.
which I
I
hold.
mostly played IRL, but
Yeah,
just
I mean,
easier online
the Spider deck is I actually have IOL.
Mm-hmm. I have a
It's my-
Torbrand deck
it
IRL
is
right
my-
now. Mono red.
It's my baby deck. It is my
What
baby
format
deck.
is it for? Commander?
Commando, yeah.
Yeah.
Commando's all I play, honestly.
Yeah, Diablo, let me know when you get back, by the way. If you're here, if you're
But
back,
on the
just in
sim I
case.
play on, I also have a Super Friends deck that people don't like playing against. Also, the people I play with has banned me from playing Is It.
I can see that. It's just nothing but counter spells and damage spells.
Oh,
and you're getting a
and-
million draws off everything.
well-
Scribe 50 times, create a million tokens.
I see you have also broken
The guy
local
whose name
metas
is
before.
Niv Mizzet. Niv
No,
Mizzet Commander.
And the funny thing is, the deck that was the skull that broke the camel's back was a creature deck.
Wah,
Yeah.
wah.
It was
I don't know what was wrong looking at a Slivers deck. I don't know why anyone could be angry at me.
it was
Poison counters.
it was actually a 40k commando.
Yeah.
Ah,
Gilson Stone Kelomorph.
who? Try again?
Gilson Stone Kelomorph.
It's like a guy's name that's complicated as fuck.
Is he... Which faction is he from?
He's the freaking Gene Stealer cult guy with the free pistols.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, but
I should've
his
checked the
his
mutable.
the magic effect is whenever a source would do exactly 1 damage, he does to something.
Interesting.
He does 2 damage to that thing.
Heh. He's a reverse card. No, you.
It's every time you do 1 damage to something.
Oh. Oh, you do damage. Okay. You do 1 damage to something, he does 2 damage to it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I built Pingo Tribal.
What? You what? What tribal?
Pingo.
Damn.
I
Cancelled.
built Tim Tribal. How about that?
Tim Travel.
Yep. And people
Kind
were
of
getting
poor
annoyed because every time I saw a really impactful creature hit the board, I timmed it.
Tap, 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 tap it, dice.
Yep.
Much HP does it have? You pick up your stack of 1-cost creatures. This guy's gonna fucking kill me. He's on 2 HP and I just keep misstepping over and over again. He's gonna fucking kill me.
Also, I also have a super fun stack. It's banned, not America.
Banned. Love it.
And the funny thing is, its commando is a planeswalker.
Good.
Man, when's someone gonna make a Russian Super Friends army? Red, blue, yellow. Or not yellow. Red,
W.
blue, white. It'd just be
Red,
funny.
blue, white? You mean
Yeah,
red,
it's
white,
the same-
blue? You can go deck.
Yeah, it says you, but you make it so but you make everything so it's like communists.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you see the commando, you think a completely different archetype than Super Friends. Because I'm playing Estrid the Masked as my commando for that.
Oh boy.
So you're thinking, oh, it's all the big enchantment reanimation stuff. Most of my enchantments are just either yeah, I mean I have the noble enchantress draw stuff, but other than that, most of my enchantments are just like enchant land, land taps for additional mana.
I'm sorry, I zoned out. What's happening?
Basically, I'll talk about my Super Friends deck.
Right.
That has a sub archetype of enchantments.
Oh boy.
But
Oh boy.
Don't the things count as tokens too?
like
Can you
the
open?
tokens she makes does, yes. And
When you
technic-
ultimate them and get an emblem, isn't the emblem technically a token? For that kind of stuff?
no, the
Like an
emblem
enchantment?
isn't emblems are weird.
Do their
Oh
own
yeah.
thing.
Just realized I still have like streamer mode on Discord, so you get on the stream you guys just
I'm
like
like-
S dot 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 T dot dot dot. I'm like I'm sure that's helping viewers, right?
Yeah, but
I need to draw Brave the Elements right now. If I draw that, I win.
the funny thing is, this deck technically has an infinite combo.
Technically,
You know what the infinite is?
me, I would have no idea.
It's infinite activations of planeswalkers.
Oh, perfect. Is it
Brilliant.
like that doubling season plus the Tameo combo?
No,
Doubling season because you can come with double the
actually, my
tokens.
commando
Tameo,
is
you
part
ultimate
of it.
Cast them to 0.
my
Get
commando
thrown
is
like
part
one
of it.
down. Nice.
Because Estrid, well, for one, she can attach a token enchantment onto something, onto anything, and then she can untap enchanted permanents. And I have this funny little card called the Chain Veil,
Uh-oh.
and I have a bunch of mana wamp enchantments in the deck that attach to lands. So
Not only did my dry brush highlight attempts fail, but now I have to black in a bunch of places on this game. Yay!
fun.
It's the best.
And then
Um,
the other deck that got me banned from playing is a funny little deck with a hidden commando that I can't actually have as a commando.
Mhm.
So, do you know this little card known as Flaming Stone?
I've heard of it.
Spells you control have Whip or Fall. You know what is a spell that breaks the rules of commando and can have more than one copy of?
Relentless rats. Many other different kinds of rats.
Dragon's Approach.
That too.
So I have 30 of them in the deck. Flaming Stone, every time I cast a spell, I flip up the top 4 cards of my deck. Any cards that show a name with it, I can cast without paying the mana cost.
Oh, good point. Pick up
interesting.
your deck, set it on the battlefield. This is my battlefield now.
No, thing is, Dragon's Approach is a sorcery
Oh.
that does
create
3
dragons.
damage to each opponent.
Oh, so you just bop, 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 you dead no matter what.
On the
Everyone's
ground!
fucking dead.
Yeah.
And then now everyone's holding counter spells for every time they play against you.
You
don't let
just
them get this one thing off or you lose, okay?
You're reminding me of when I broke my local 40k meta and ended a tournament like weeks early. An escalation tournament. I'm pretty certain I've told this story before, but it was like 8th edition. It was the second half 8th edition after we got all the chapter supplements. In the Raven Guard one, it was pretty broken. Especially because characters were super important back then because they still had arrows with really good powers. So if I can just delete all your characters from super far away, that's pretty brutal already. Gets worse though. Castles, because auras are really good, castles were a big deal. Because just castle everything around, like, 6-inch aura, 6-inch radius around the model. That's a lot of real estate, basically. You can shove things into. So it was an escalation league of 1,000 points working up, and the only restriction was no named characters. Yeah, guess what was really good back then? Leviathan Dreadnoughts with storm cannon arrays. So like 20 hitting on 2s, full reroll auto cannons with negative like 3 AP most of the time, 2 damage per, and then Hunter Killer missiles and the heavy flamers because they hadn't added the Volkites yet. And yeah, right. Had that surrounded by by just bubble wraps, so you couldn't get into melee because back then melee stopped vehicles from shooting. But like first you gotta get through 10 intercessors, 5 tactical marines, 5 hellblasters, 3 eliminators, and 2 characters. A chapter master Phobos, so he has a sniper rifle.
Lodge, 2 number 45s.
Yeah, exactly, and a tech
with extra dip.
and a tech marine that sat behind the Leviathan Dreadnought repairing it. So even if you did hit it with something that could actually get through its armor and influence save, he would just repair it like immediately. So like all for 1,000 points. I had 2 games where I didn't even lose a model. And then after the 3rd game, where I took a couple casualties, they're like, okay, no one can touch his army. We're not even gonna bother continuing to the escalations to like 1,500 or 2K, because like whatever he has to that is just gonna make this worse. It was so bad. It was so brutal. Because of all the rerolls, the Leviathan was consistently having 100% conversion on those storm cannons. So it's like 20 hits, 17 to 20 wounds, AP neg 3, 2 damage each, back when like half the Space Marine Codex was still 1 wound. Only Primaris had 2 wounds. So forget about all the other guys. Like Gene Stealers never even got within 12 inches of me. Who was the next one? Oh, Custodes killed like 2 guys, but actually had a bike captain, a normal dude, and a dreadnought bodied by a Chad of an intercessor with a power fist. He killed a normal Custodes, went over and finished off the captain, and then went toe to toe with their big dreadnought, which had been in a shooting match with my Leviathan, and he actually did damage to it and ran away before dying.
That reminds me of the chat infiltrator.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I always seem to have one infantry guy that just like decides like, hey, you know how I'm like a battle line that costs like 15 points? I'm going to like MVP this game. Like that happened in my last tournament. Against the Death Guard, I had the same intercessor with a bull rifle finish off a Chaos Knight and Mortarion.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, that same list that I went up against you with.
The Sisters one?
Sisters one?
Yeah, Sisters one was brutal. Get going.
I only won 1 game in that tournament.
Oof.
And it was against Admech.
That's rough.
Well, it didn't help that a unit of Hellblasters survived a charge from my Zephyrim squad. Both of my freaking not Razorbacks, but Razorbacks.
The pipe organ tank? Or the Rhino one?
The Rhino one that also had a gun.
I love it when they give rhinos guns. I wish I could do that IRL.
Yeah. Like I don't remember.
What it's called.
Yeah. Is it the tank one or the just the transport with more guns one?
It's transport remote guns one.
No, yeah, I have no idea what that's called.
Hellblasters 2 of those got shot at the Hellblasters. Completely failed at doing anything. Zephyrin bounced off it, and then Celestine bounced off of them.
Wait, bounce off who? The Hellblasters?
The Hellblasters.
Ah. Get wrecked. Armor of Contempt. I have contempt
No.
for women. That's-
Celestine did a Chad thing.
Died? Then came back.
Died, came back, and I decided, screw it. I'm going to charge Gilliman.
Is it,
She charged Gilliman.
is it weird that the most Chad thing she can do in most situations is die?
Yeah.
Just realized that. Kind of funny.
Yeah.
Me randomly for no reason. Dying. Most Chad thing I can do right now. I'm just gonna perish.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, just be Kane. And just not able to.
POV
also-
deployed by Russia.
The funny thing is, the first round against the Necrons, I got. They were like a really cheesy build with like 3 Doomsday Orcs and a freaking the opened up monolith
Mm-hmm.
with the big old Satan in it.
Yep.
The only thing that in my army that actually hit the big old Satan thing and
Mhm.
wounded it was bolt holes.
Ha.
None of my
Yeah.
my melter kept bouncing off of it, but the bolt holes I decided, frick it, I might as well shoot at them too.
Yo, the Chaos Knight in the Death Guard list, the thing that did the most damage to that thing, swear to God, were the Hurricane Bolters from my Storm Raven. Because it was like point blank, so it got rapid fire, and it was the target of my, Oath of Moment. So, like, it had full rerolls, to hit. It already had full rerolls to wound. It was rapid fire. And, yeah, just the what do you call it? The saves just went poorly.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was something else on it that gave it some AP. So it was like AP neg 1, and that for some reason that worked really well, and I knocked like 7 or 8 wounds off it from like a point blank Hurricane Bolter blast. Just kind of funny when you think about it, considering how many other things I shot that thing with. I shot with my Sakaran Venator, I shot with Eradicators, I shot with a bunch of other stuff. But like the Hurricane Bolter just splashed a bunch of damage off it.
That's another deck I forgot I had. I decided to do a meme, which was
Mhm.
just God Tribal.
Has someone made a deck yet and called it the Touch Grass deck? It's like a pure green one.
Probably.
Because that's pretty funny.
I'm sure there's like Dryad Tribal, which someone could call Touch Grass. I'm sure
Touch
someone's
grass,
done it.
smoke gas.
But the God deck's really funny because you know how I win most often with that deck?
How's that?
I win by milling people. And I only have 1 mill card in the entire deck.
I would anytime I could, I would put it that card in my deck that says you win if you mill out in every commander deck I could, just in case I came up against a mill deck, I could turn it on them and be
Well,
like, ah.
I say I win most often by that because, well, gods have really good really good stats for the price.
Mhm.
So Phalanx God of Deception is actually kind of funny. Creatures you control have tap. Target player puts the top X cards of the Wizard library into the graveyard, while X is the creature's toughness.
Oh boy.
So, and like I said,
Put
I
that
have a
shit on a
bunch
creature
of
that has a toughness equal to the number of cards in their graveyard. Systematically, you tap it 3 times, they die. 1 second, BRB getting in.
Yep.
Alright, so Space Marines. which
Yes.
detachment you feeling right now? You still thinking Vanguard?
I'm between Vanguard and Firestorm. Right
I
now.
mean, it's just the Firestorm's just so. What's
I
the
can see
word?
lots of cheese with the Firestorm.
the
Like,
whole thing's cheese. You get assault to advance and shoot, and then +1 on all your guns across the entire army.
but the whole
It's like
thing with the
absurd.
Vanguard thing is, uh, deep striking aggressors. Oh, deep striking.
Well,
If they still exist, deep striking Centaurians.
like it's what I said last stream, which is like, nah, transports are good, and you have stuff that you can very easily get advanced and charge or advance and shoot. Like deep striking isn't that like necessary anymore. Like, oh, I want aggressors to be in X spot. I can throw them in a... Oh, then, like, they're allowing Primaris to get into almost any of the old Space Marine stuff. So it's like, oh, I want aggressors to be here. I just take a Land Raider, send that up there. They can jump out, shoot, and charge because of Assault Ramp. And you get the Land Raider's guns to help them. It's like, yeah, why do I need Deep Strike?
That's kind of the centerpiece of the army that I'm wanting to, like have.
Yeah, that's why I bought a second Land Raider Redeemer. It's like, yeah.
So I'm between doing. I'm between 3 options right now.
Mm-hmm.
One is running the list similar to how it is now,
Okay.
with the knight.
Yep.
Another one is switch out the knight for another unit of Hellblasters and another with Pulsar.
Yeah.
And the third option is another Land Raider with more aggressors in it.
I'd say the Land Raider more aggressive with it if it's like a Land Raider Redeemer. That's
Yeah,
my
so-
pick, because like Firestorm Land Raider Redeemer is strength 7 flamers that on Overwatch are like war crimes.
Yes.
I mean, they're already war crimes because fire, but I mean, like, it's disgusting.
Yes.
They're auto cannons with
Also,
auto hit.
I'm not 100% sure if I'd go Boltstorm or Flamestorm on the. If I'm sticking with the biologists, honestly.
Oh yeah, well yeah, I guess if you take the Biologist, you're probably better off with the
With the
Boltstorm, because their strength, all their stuff's now strength 5. They're 501s, which if you can find a way to give them AP, they're basically in bolter inceptors now, but way more shots.
Yeah, but also Strength 5 Flamers are fun.
I mean, that's also true. It's just a ton of heavy flamers, but you can't get lethal hits on them, so you have to, like, get stuff to help the wound roll, which, I mean, it's now a question of how you're going to do that, because Oath of Moment no longer gives reroll to wounds, so you got to figure that out. It still gives you reroll to hits, but not reroll to wounds.
Yeah, and that's the big issue right now.
Yeah. I did consider aggressors, but I've wanted heavy intercessors since they came out, but I didn't have the extra money plus a real solid reason to get them. But now that it's like, oh, controlling objectives is basically the core of the game, basically. And OC works how it does now. Yeah, it's time for the heavy intercessors to show up.
Sadly, I cannot field 70 of them anymore.
Which, you know what? Good.
And
'Cause
also,
that was gross.
I can't give them, like, opinions.
Nope, but you can, you can make all of them have assault cannons at close range. Which is hilarious.
Huh, what? Yes.
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, those elves? Running on 2s. With my normal guns. With my weakest guns in the army.
Yeah.
Well, technically not sure. There's a couple storm bolters just scattered here and there, but still, you get the idea.
No, another thing I'm thinking, Hurricane bolters are actually decent in this, in that.
Yeah, and a Crusader does have more damage output, the reason I went with, or not damage, sorry, transport. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know why I said damage output. It's more transport. The reason I went with Redeemers though is because Overwatch. I've had such amazing success overwatching with the Land Rare Redeemer that it's pretty hard to say no, especially when they're just gonna be buffed more.
Yeah.
And like honestly, the now that I'm dropping my Hellblasters, and the whole double overwatching, I'm not really feeling the pain from anymore because I wasn't gonna have a captain with anything I would actually want to overwatch with, because
I still like the Hellblasters and the Repulsor to be fail.
I mean, yeah, Hellblasters are still good with like Firestorm because on Overwatch they're now melta rifles. They're strength 9.
Strength 9 AP what?
Depends on what happens, but it'd be AP neg 3, but I mean, I'd imagine you can get AP neg 4 on it. I'm pretty sure there is a way already.
And also just... Here's the funny thing. If they die shooting Overwatch, they get to shoot again still.
Yeah, no, any way they die, they get to shoot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, also, I feel like people are not talking about this enough. The whole, +1 to your weapons, in 12 inches, that means all your pistols, every bolt pistol is now strength 5, so you are just nuking other Marines.
Incest souls.
You mean Inceptors? That what you said?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Inceptors got pretty good.
Yeah. Melta pistols. Melta pistols.
Really, any pistol weapon. I mean, the Gravis Captains, like, packing a heavy bolter. Or an old school heavy bolter. You know, 5 neg 1/1.
Yep, and so is probably his squad.
Well, yeah, because the heavy interceptors, the heavy intercessors. Yeah, all their pistols are 501s now.
Oh, I was saying I meant I was thinking of Glessels, but
Oh yeah.
fair enough.
Oh yeah. What is the biologist packing again?
Oh, Battle. He's packing basically already packing a heavy bolter.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's literally a one-shot heavy bolter. Well, that's now strength 6.
Yep.
So screw your Terminator. Basically, my whole list is screw your Terminators. Your Terminators can go mess off and die because I'm wounding like almost every gun in my list wounds Terminators on at least 3s. And will be wounding standard Marine equivalents on 3s minimum, no matter what.
And possibly wounding on 2s.
Yeah. And even wounding, some of the stuff is suddenly wounding Terminators on 2s, like Eradicators are suddenly wounding Terminators on 2s because they'll be strength 10.
And the Plasma is wounding normal Marines on 2.
Oh yeah, they're normal shot. You don't even have to overcharge to nuke Marines, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
Missing some damage, but...
well, yeah, because it's only 1 point of damage in normal, but still, they will like a smaller squad, like Stern Guard. Because I imagine they're still going. Oh wait, no, you can take those in 10s, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he would or not, but.
Well, if Diablo's back, he would tell us because he's like the biggest Stern Guard fan. His whole list is based off of devastating wound output. But I haven't seen him in chat in a little bit. Said he had a phone call a while ago. He was saying he was like pumping out like 40 to 50 mortal wounds before, pretty consistently, which actually the changes to Devastating Wounds does not really affect him at all, because it was all single point Devastating Wounds
Yeah.
from the Stern Guards. Which actually, if anything, Stern Guard kind of got a buff from that, honestly, because now they get to ignore Feel No Pains against Mortal Wounds, like Custodes.
Yeah. Sadly, though, I think one of the best units for not is one of the best underweighted units right now for freaking is the Ultramarine Lieutenant of Combi Weapon.
You mean like the standard Lieutenant with Combi Weapon, or
the lone off one?
Right, yeah, that's anyone can take that.
Anyone
But
can take that, but specifically the Ultramarine or the Dark Angel one.
Oh, you mean like the Gladius Task Force one?
Yeah.
Why? I'd like to hear this.
Because they just walk alongside the Primarchs.
Oh yeah, I heard something about that.
And they both get blown off.
That's really funny.
Because
Wait, it's a radius? It's an aura?
No, Gilliman and Lion, they're within a certain range of Astartes infantry get blown off. And guess what the Phobos lieutenant is?
Well,
It doesn't say
wait.
squad. It says
Don't I
Phobos
have
infantry.
Gilliman in this card deck? Probably do. I think. Where's this card? About Gilliman. Okay, hold on. Boss models within 3 inches of one or more friendly stars. Infantry units is modeled. Oh, I see. Because like the guy has
He himself, the Phobos lieutenant has
lone operative, which means
himself.
that he can't be targeted, but but if he's next to the Primarchs, they get lone. I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like say the Phobos librarian, I'm pretty sure he has to be leading a squad for him to do that.
Him and
Or-
his unit gets it, I think.
Right. So that, and then you have and you can't put him with like guys from other chapters. So like you can't do him with Shrike, for example,
Yeah.
because Shrike has lone operative.
Yeah, because everything has to be pure now.
Right. Which, I mean, is a little frustrating because, I mean, having a, like, end of the Devastation of Ball as a list would be kind of cool, where it's, like, Ultramarines and Blood Angels fighting together. Or, like, Dante and Gilliman would be kind of cool. But
Yeah, but
can't do that anymore.
well, you would have to do that like a multiplayer game.
Right. I mean, it is, like, a super narrative game anyway, so,
Yeah.
like, not really... Like, there's no reason to actually run that as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
Be a cool crusade moment.
Honestly,
Right, peanut butter M&M's gonna screw you.
I'm not sure if I'm going if I do the Hellblast Souls or if I do the Vessels. I am really tempted to just say screw it. I am just going to full send and just make a fully it basically all of it look like Legion of the Damned.
Mm-hmm.
Like Primaris Legion of the Damned.
Can I say, I know it's not going with the list I'm trying to build, but all of the new models, short of the Terminator Chaplain, which I think is just a really boring model, to be honest.
Yeah.
I was not impressed with that. But the rest of them, I'm I want all of them, and half of them it's just for painting, like the Stern Guard and the Command Squad, the new Command Squad.
Yeah.
But they're not, like, Stern Guard are fairly good. The Command Squad, unless they buff them massively with some cooler abilities, they're not good. Like, they're not, like, terrible, but, like, I don't know how you're supposed to use them, because, like, the old Command Squad, except worse, because you have fewer guys, it's just, like, the unit doesn't know what it wants to do. It doesn't know if it wants to be melee, if it wants to be buffing, if it wants to be shooting. It's just, like, everything kind of okay at once, and it's kind of annoying, because, like, Space Marines have really good units that specialize at very specific things. So it's like, okay, well, if I want a shooting unit, I take, like, Hellblasters, or Eradicators, or, well, yeah, like, Hellblasters, or, like, a Boltstorm Aggressors, even, or Inceptors, all better shooting, for, like, horde type stuff. Or, if I want melee, Aggressors, Blade Guard. Actually, I don't know if Blade Guard are that good right now. Terminator Assault Squads are quite good.
I was trying to make Blade Guard work, but
They're not like 9th edition, where Blade Guard were absolutely brutal, especially in White Scars. White Scars Blade Guard were hilariously frightening.
the best Blade Guard right now is Space Wolves Blade Guard,
Makes sense.
but that's more because Ragnar Blackmane exists.
Well, to be fair, Vanguard vets were at their best with Cave and Shrike, so, you know,
Yeah.
back in 9th edition. Like, I know people are like, well, no, because you didn't even do Vanguard vets in Blood Angels, you did Sanguinary Guard, so yeah, no. The best Vanguard vets in 9th edition were with Cave and Shrike, were Raven Guard. Yeah. Because, yeah, you just got such a nice combo with him and a Chaplain. Do you remember, back when I started streaming, when I had that 14-step combo? That thing was absurd.
Yeah, when we first started, yeah.
Yeah, like, I swear I only actually did the entire sequence correctly, like, 3 times out of, like, 14 games I played that combo with.
That's the way I figured out how to do the Blade Guard.
Uh-huh.
Is you put its Space Wolf Blade Guard,
Mm-hmm.
you form in a Land Raider of some sort, with Ragnar Blackmane and a Judicial.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But that's like a third of your 2,000 point army there.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, because, like, my Land Raider combo right now is only 500 points. It's 1/4, exactly.
Yep.
So realizing that was the point value was when I realized, yeah, I need to do 2 of these. That's better than the Spartan with, like, 10 of them and 2 characters, because, like, it's just way more of everything, except for, heavy intercessor bodies. Like, the only thing that doesn't, the only thing I lose out on is that the heavy intercessors won't be buffed by enhancements. But I don't know what enhancements are even on the table, except for making a Gravis Captain punch on strength 11, which, like, I don't even know if I really need, because, like,
I mean, always being able to tactical dog, I guess. With Master of the Codex.
Sup, Zilai? You know if there's any figure of Slanesh or Papa Nurgle? They definitely do not have models for entire Chaos Gods. If you're looking for their Grey Demons, you're looking for a Keeper of Secrets for Slanesh, or Grey Unclean one for Nurgle, which, to be fair, a Grey Unclean one is basically a mini Nurgle. So, I mean, just like how Nurglings are mini Grey Unclean ones, they really do not change form that much, they just get bigger. But Slanesh kind of changes her form to match whoever's looking at them, so, you know, your you could technically make any really giant model and say it's Slanesh.
I mean,
Takes the Manta bomber from Tau. This is Slanesh.
well, now players probably.
Man, I still need to sit down and watch that video of when I forget who it was chopped up a manta ray, or for a scenic base. I think they turned into a scenic base that turned into an entire battle map.
Yeah,
Which
I think
is
it was
pretty-
a full battle map.
Yeah, which is honestly awesome. I love like the idea of like Titans, for example. Why can't we need to have matches just on Titans? Can we get like a
Like kill team, but you're in a Titan.
I mean, if we can make a what do you call it, a Emperor class Titan, that's large enough for a full size game.
I know. I think that someone on YouTube has made like a 2-scale Emperor Titan.
Yeah, I've seen a couple actually. You know what someone needs to do is make a digital version of that with like stuff going on, and we do that with Tabletop Simulator. We're just fighting
That'd be
over.
such a pain. That would be such a pain to try to deal with tabletop sim specifically.
Yeah, but you have like an AdMech player that is like the boarding repellers, right? Like they're the home team, and then you have like, or well, really anyone actually. Like
Yeah,
it could be
I
Space Marines, it could be Chaos Space Marine. Because like if it's Imperial Space Marine, just say it's a Chaos Titan.
Yeah,
The AdMech look the same.
Admech and Doc Mechanicum.
Right, it just look the same. It's no difference.
But the funny thing is,
Dark Imperium Army when?
I mean, that's just Admech, isn't it?
Well, okay, technically, so many demonic Primarchs that may appear in 10th edition. I mean, you could.
I'm not gonna lie, I want Fulgrim.
Well, we know it's not going to be Fulgrim, because when they released the Horus Heresy Ascended Fulgrim model, they specifically said, yeah, this guy's not coming to 40k anytime soon. Which, I was like, why would you say that? You just made the model, you just had to give him a stat block. Like, what was the point of that? Like,
Anytime soon. They could do it at, like how they did the Lion at the very end.
I mean, I guess that's like, what, 3 years on average right now? That's the current life cycle of an edition. You know what's more likely for this edition? I'd say, like Lorgar and Korax popping up would not be off the table.
That another possibility. The Khan.
Yeah, well, he was asking about Demon Primarchs.
Oh, Demon Primarch specifically. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. I think Lorgar's the most likely one, to be honest. I mean, yeah, no, I don't see why they would pull Perturabo out right now. I'd like to see Perturabo, like, why did you become a Demon Primarch? You hate Chaos. But, like, you know.
I have a feeling it's less of becoming a Demon Primarch and more of him walking with Arcane, or whatever his name is.
You mean, Demon Forge guy?
Yeah, Demon Forge guy.
Yeah, I already forgot his name. I thought he was a really cool character, and I already forgot his name.
Like, nailed it voice, but his walls suck.
Some Demon Primarch will make his temporary return 10th edition. What do you think? I don't think anyone's doing temporary returns, especially Demon Primarchs, because they can't actually die. You kind of have to kill their god to kill him permanently, which is really frustrating, let me tell you.
Actually, no, there is one possibility for, not specifically a Demon Primarch, but Chaos Primarch. Temporary back.
I'm entering a draft. Fuck it.
Who'd you say, Zophiana?
I mean, isn't Cole stuck in the crown thing?
Is who stuck?
Conrad Coles.
Oh no, he dead. We know he's dead. He's confirmed
we know
dead.
He's like dead, but didn't his soul get stuck in the soul stone on that one crown thing that he had?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. Man, Conrad Kerr's coming back. What would that do to the setting? Well, that would cause some strife between the Lion and Gilliman, I'd imagine, because of how that all went down in the Horus Heresy. Although, to be fair, and I actually like this. I like this development. The Lion has chilled a ton. He has chilled out. He has really mellowed, and honestly, I'm here for it. I like mellow. I like super depressed Gilliman. I like ultra depressed Gilliman, and I like chilled out Lion. I like both these developments quite a bit.
Okay, so heal me out.
No.
Wait, I don't know if he's dead or if he's just lost. Is Stone dead?
We don't know. Because we've gotten like 3 different versions of that story.
Yeah, so
Like there's a version where
Type deep.
like there's a version where like they got his whole body, and there's a version where they only got his hand, and that I believe is the way that it's currently going, and then there's a version where they didn't get anything. But those are all technically canon versions of that story, so it's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's not helpful.
yeah, so it could Dawn could come back.
Yeah, in theory, Dorn could come back.
I think the only those I know Sangi's dead.
Sanguinius is definitely not coming back. I don't care. Like there's no version of coming back. He was annihilated. He's not annihilated, but like they've made it such a big deal that him and Horus are definitely not coming back. They have to stay dead for so many reasons. Like the warp requires them to be dead.
You know what I have a weird feeling.
As read fan fiction messages for Dad. I have no idea. I recommend as its alternate version of Primarchs have blood children. What? I have so many questions because like
What?
biology.
I just hold blood children.
You just hope
That's all I
what?
hold. I just hold blood children. That's all I hold from that.
It was a fan fiction where the Primarchs have blood children. Like the Primarchs have natural born children.
Oh.
Where it's like,
Oh,
Okay.
So they just fucking.
well, okay. I mean, that's probably more of a
It's
sperm
just
bank
what-
situation. I think that's more of a
It's
sperm
just
bank.
what-
That's not. That
I think
seems
that
so.
depends on the. I guess depends on the Primarch.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Any of them could have gone it if they wanted to. They're Primarchs. They walk into a room, everyone's on their knees.
No,
Literally,
I'm
but,
thinking,
like-
especially considering like Russ, because you gotta think of the culture of the planet they landed on.
I actually don't see Russ doing that. You know why?
Why?
His actual personality. He was so duty driven that like 98% of everything he did was an act. And when pressed on it, he'd fully admit it. He was playing a role fully aware of the role. Like he existed to serve the Emperor in his vision on like a level that like went well beyond a lot of the other Primarchs.
You know what? Fair enough.
Now, you know who I could see doing that? Sanguinius, actually.
Yep.
Pass on you in case you want to read it. I mean, yeah, check a link into the Discord. Oh yeah, how do you... Oh, commands work for you. Oh yeah, commands work on everything again. I keep forgetting that. I fixed the commands. Exclamation mark Discord will get you the link to join the Discord. There's a 40k lore channel in there. You can drop in there if you want.
Walked, what the frick?
Yeah, I told you I fixed it. I had to go back and forth with the maker of the multi-chat app for like 2 days, but we got it.
I was honestly expecting it not to work because YouTube is weird, but
Well, YouTube was the main thing that didn't work before. It took an entire clean install of like the newest version of the multi-stream app, and then suddenly it worked. Although weirdly enough, for some reason on YouTube it shows in the multi-stream me quote unquote posting the response to it, and it doesn't do that for any other platform, which is weird. But like, yeah. But yeah, if anyone's wondering what the URL is for how to paint the guy that's spinning up there, there's the URL.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah,
tabletop/tip
Monster energy drink.
and KFC. Don't forget the KFC.
KFC.
The Colonel. The Colonel's
You
here.
get an official tabletop tip through a website.
Yeah. I'm handing out. I'm handing out tips for life. Step 1: don't get into Warhammer.
Woo.
Almost everybody in Warhammer would give that tip. Nobody gave it to them. They want to save you.
Yep. Also, tip number 2: if you are going to get into Warhammer, just insert the next 4 hours of non-stop rambling.
Yep. If you want to get into it, don't.
But if you do,
Here's the thing, though.
give him an opportunity.
There's
What?
like whole things I want to do now, because I have this Marine army I'm working on. Not sure if I'm doing Waving God or if I'm dropping the Titans calls and not calls, strike, and doing just Legion of the Damn stuff.
Learn how to paint fire, or even better, how to green stuff fire.
Yeah, it's green stuff file.
Woo! I need to get better at green stuff. I am such a plebeian with green stuff in reality. And for all the green stuff I've done, I'm still so like rookie at it.
Also, I want to do Blood Bowl things.
I think the idea of Blood Bowl is funny. I can't see myself seriously collecting or painting any of it. I mean, I'd paint it for other people, obviously, but like painting it myself, like I have too many things I want. Here's my problem. I have so many things I want to do with Space Marines still that's like I'm never gonna get to like anything else. Let's be real.
Yeah, fail. Then
That's
also
somehow with me painting every day.
I also have an AOS army that I just had.
Sai died.
Yes, I think I killed Sai with Blood Bowl.
Die!
Talking
Well,
about-
you know, he's a
did say
goblin.
was
He
doing a
deserves it.
draft. He did say I was doing a draft, too.
Fair.
But yeah, I have a Age of Sigma army I had just half painted and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of want to start a different AOS army. Other than the one I already have.
What's the AOS army?
The one I
That
have
you currently have.
is Gloomspike Gits.
Gotcha.
Specifically a bunch of the Spider Idols.
Uh-huh. I mean, I was just about to say, suddenly I want to play Battle for Middle-earth 2 because I love playing the goblins with their spider cavalry. It was great.
Yep,
I'm gonna climb right up your walls and then poison everyone. Get wrecked.
I mean, AOS Spiders, they count as having fly, but they don't actually have fly.
Well, yeah, because they crawl over it, whatever.
They crawl over everything. But the funniest thing about that is they count as having fly without actually having fly.
Mm-hmm.
There was like special rules at the beginning of the game, like flying units cannot like move at half speed.
So, them spiders be schmovin', is what you're saying.
Yeah, so smoothing, as if they had fly, but they're not flying, so they don't.
That's
suffer
disgusting.
penalty.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. And the cavalry, the spider cavalry.
Mm-hmm.
If your leader is a spider cavalry, they count
boy.
as the battle line.
It.
Yeah.
So you can just, like, your entire army is just spider cavalry.
Here's another thing. If your leader is the Spider Fang, which is the Spider Idols,
Mm-hmm.
their big monster spiders can be battle line.
Why are you telling me, a spider lover, this? I love spiders.
Yes, I have like 80 Goblin Spider Idols and 2 of the big spiders.
I consistently see spiders elsewhere in the house, and I'm like, nope, you're coming with me to the basement.
I'm not gonna lie, if I lived in a less chaotic temperature-wise climate, I would totally have a pet tarantula.
Fair.
But
I like
if
them
it's-
smoother ones, smoother spiders, personally, but yeah.
But it gets too cold here for them.
Nah, I hear ya. I'm somewhat similar, being in New England.
I mean, am I technically New England?
No, like, what, Maine? Or New York?
Pennsylvania, technically, but
Oh, no.
that's why I'm like, is
No.
that New England or is that... What is
No.
that?
New England, at minimum, is Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. Sometimes they include Maine, sometimes they include New York, but
I was
no.
born up in New England. I was born in Connecticut, but
Ew. Nah.
I was born on the military base.
Ah. Even more. Ew. No.
Yeah, but
I was just recently in a whole joke thread of screw Connecticut, and I'm like, yeah, as someone lives next to Connecticut, screw Connecticut. But their highways pretty based.
yeah, but
You know why the highways are based?
Why?
Because they don't have speed limit signs, they have minimum speed signs. So everyone's doing like minimum 90. Like, I mean, like 18-wheeler like trucks are just rolling at 90. It's great. I love it. I love driving through Connecticut highways, like, just because it's like you actually get somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, it's like like normally, like, I'm in Rhode Island, and you would see speed limit, let's say like 65 or whatever. Even though no one's ever going 65, but they'll say speed limit 65. Over there, it's minimum speed 60. And that's it. That's the only signs you get.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you want me to go faster, huh? No.
No, I don't know if my car would actually survive though, because it has hard enough time getting to 60, let alone like staying at it at times.
Shockingly, back when I had my truck had no problems with speed. The
thing was, it just let's just say there was a reason me and my sister has been calling my car Karen,
oh boy.
because they are
Complaints about everything.
complaints about everything.
Yeah.
Can't get fast enough. Can't get up to speed. To going way too fast. To all that stuff.
For some reason, that reminded me of the camera story I never got to. So as you can probably tell, I'm using a new camera. It's not a new camera. It's actually the camera I had on the CFC guy before, which is actually a very good camera. It's a decently expensive camera. It's just I'm not a big camera guy. I don't know cameras that well, or like real cameras anyway. But after getting 2 of the new webcams that I'm using, and the webcam, I thought it would be the webcam would be the new painting cam, but it didn't actually work that well for that, which is fine. The what do you call it? I was like, okay, I still want my phone out of the equation. I'm tired of my phone being held hostage while I stream. So I'll use this cam, and I'll just look into some new lenses to get it better. So I got to the point where it's like, oh, I just need like a little bit more zoom. So I got this giant like telescope of a lens for like $120, which actually was pretty cheap, all things considered, compared to all the other lenses, which is like, good God. When you realize that you can buy a $1,200 lens for a $400 camera, what even? I really gotta turn Discord's volume down in general. Good lord. Is that you, Sai?
It restarted itself out of nowhere. I was in the middle of a draft too. I hope it doesn't just take my money.
Take the money and one.
No, that's what I do. They can't take my job.
Yeah.
That's my job. I take your money and run.
Post something on YouTube on this TV.
Alright, I think that's better Discord volume. I don't know, we'll see if my ears start bleeding.
Yeah. Nope.
Sophiana's still like...
Before I can turn the volume down.
Sai's fine, actually. Sophiana, for some reason, like, the gain on your microphone into Discord, for some reason, is like...
I don't know, like, I am not an audio engineer or anything like that.
Okay, fair.
I
know, ironically, I know audio way better than I do cameras.
Yeah, I just
But,
use it basically default settings on Discord.
right. Yeah, just for some reason, when it goes through my system, it makes you hype. You're not even that loud in OBS's, like, audio pickup. You're just super loud in my ears. Like, deafening.
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not your fault. Yeah, I know. It's just neither are you, Sai. It's just something with my saying interacting with him. It's just a weird, like, artifact of this stuff. I don't really understand why. But I turned Sophiana down a bunch. Because I was trying to get Sai. Well, what I was doing was I was turning the Discord overall down, so, like, join and leave tone isn't so loud. And then I turned Sai back up, and then I turned Sophiana up a little bit, and then it's like back to jet engine, like right next to me.
I've been applying for random, like, massive jobs just for the sake of fuck it. Like, maybe one of them will just randomly take me, like, not pay attention to my resume. Like, I applied to be a pilot for, like, a company that, like, puts you through the training and pays for it.
Huh.
An airliner company. I figured, why? I mean, fuck it. If I meet the requirements, no. Am I applying anyways? Yes.
Oh, you should do it with tech companies. Like, no joke. Like, listen, programming is not... If you have any technical aptitude whatsoever, most programming is not actually that hard to pick up.
Yeah,
you could actually...
Programming is actually a lot of just Googling, copy-pasting, and scratching your head.
Yeah, no, seriously, that is so much of my time.
A bit of it. I started doing, like, my original plan was to become a web developer, right? High-end web developer. That was my plan.
It's really funny that was your plan and very much not my plan, and now I'm actually doing it.
Yeah, like, I actually started doing it, and I realized, just, like, I sit down in front of a screen that has a bunch of code on it that I'm supposed to be messing with, and no matter what else I have, like, on in the background to try to keep my attention or anything, right? Like, after about an hour and a half of that, I just hit a wall where I'm like, this is awful.
Okay, let me give you some insight as someone that now makes, like, pretty decent money at it. Is that, okay, I always have, like, some kind of text chat going off on the side, so it's constantly, like, keeping me from, you know, unless my brain automatically goes into hyperfocus on occasion with momentum, in which case I run with it. But if I'm, like, kind of, like, just going through the motions, I'm jumping back and forth between, like, chats and stuff. It's part of why I spend so much time on Discord. In, like, political chats, and D&D chats, like, whatever. Something that, like, I don't have to answer immediately if I don't want to, but it's, like, there, so, like, every so often, like, there's a new, like, thing to ping me kind of deal. You know what I mean? And then,
You should
I don't
get chess.com and play like a 30-minute chess match.
no, because then a person. Well, no, because the whole idea is that if I start, no, I mean the whole point is that like it's only something I have to the chat thing is only something I only interact with for like 30 seconds at a time to write out my response, and then I go back to whatever I was doing, and then I just go back to the other thing when like my brain needs like a real quick reset, like a micro reset. Then, now what I do, because of like all the data on my actual efficiency from the last contract, I learned that, and this apparently seems to be the norm, you can't really get real productivity programming if you're more than like 3 to 6 hours, depending on like just what you're doing and how like complicated it is. If you run into a problem, like a really like messed up problem, that if you're not making progress in solving a problem within like a half hour, you're actually just better off like stopping for the whole day, like sleep on it, and your subconscious in the background will just be like rumbling on it, and then when you come back to it in fresh eyes, it's like, oh wait, what about all this stuff? Because you're not lost in the sauce, literally. So like today I worked for 3.5 hours, and I consider that a good day. I got to a point where there's like a significant problem, and I worked on it for like a half hour, got nowhere, and then it was time to do other stuff. It was time to cook for people, and I was like, alright, that's my day. That's about average.
I came back into the draft like a pack and a half later. I just have a bunch of bumfuck random cards now.
Amazing.
No, I paid $5 real to enter this. $5 real.
So like you have like a little bit of endurance to pick up, but like you're not far off from the norm already when it comes to programming. I'd give it another look.
Okay, I could.
Yeah,
One thing
like
I did look into doing is I wanted to get into doing random what's it called, transcriptions, because I know you can just, if you're really fast at typing, like if you have more than 80 words per minute, you can easily start making $20 an hour transcribing just like on the side, you know. But the problem is I didn't know how semicolons worked, so I would fail all the tests that they would put you through in order to get the job.
You failed at grammar.
I could, for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to properly use a semicolon. All of them wanted you to know how to properly use a semicolon. Fuck.
Man, I probably could do that if I ran out of websites. Oh, long time ago, but I do type very fast, and I do know I'm actually very good at English. I'm
1 minute one online. I can find you a link to one that's no bullshit. I'm really curious how fast you type. Not right now, but after I finish this draft.
sure. I mean, but then I actually am very good at English grammar.
Maybe you can explain it to me. How are you supposed to use a semicolon? In the context of transcribing, say there's a conversation happening between two people.
Okay, so a semicolon is basically, it's basically the equivalent of starting like a whole new statement without ending the sentence. And there's like a variety of reasons why you'd want to do it that way, but it's effectively like, I want to be in the same line of like saying something in like momentum of speaking, but it's effectively a whole new statement, if that kind of makes sense. So like a comma necessarily doesn't work, or like you want it to be more divided than like a compound sentence. You want to be very strictly like, here's one statement, here's another one, but they're in the same overall, like the same actual saying, so it's within the sentence. I'm trying to think of an example, because there's a reason you don't see it very often, because it's very niche.
They give you a test that's like 8 different situations to use it. They don't tell you when it's if you miss any one of them, you fail.
Yeah, like if I saw it, I'd know like, okay, that's where a semicolon should be. But like trying to think of one, it's like, because it's so niche. They give you audio? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, it's a job for transcription.
Well, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, yeah.
Cheeky house mouse.
I'm not Okay, that would be my weakness. I'm not very good at hearing. Depending on the person's voice, I might be very poor at like hearing and like instantly translating what they're saying into like
That's
actual
when you get a
words. I'm
transcriber's foot pedal. So they have a foot pedal specifically for transcribing to do the audio. So like it'll have 3 pedals usually. One pedal is rewind, the other pedal is fast forwards, and sometimes we'll have it like one pedal is rewind, fast forward, and pause on 3 different stages depending on where you're at. And then they have another pedal that's like audio up and down, things like that.
interesting.
There's a very common thing you get called the transcription foot pedal that has things like that. So it's like a very common for them to be just listening to the same piece of audio over and over and over again, trying to figure out what the fuck they say.
As someone that has a bunch of macros to the side of my mouse, because I have one of those crazy mice with like a full keyboard on the side. Basically, it's like 12 buttons on the side. I have a, well, you can't do that with transcribing, but I do that for video editing. Actually, in general, I have
assign one of those side buttons to reverse forwards audio.
well, you're typing, so using both hands to type, so that's why, yeah, your hand's not on the mouse. But it works for like I have like one where my thumb is all the time. Those 3 buttons, 4, 5, and 6, is copy, cut, and paste. And then the one next to paste is also enter. So I lean my thumb forward and it's paste, and I lean it backwards and it's enter. And just like one movement, I can paste enter, like super efficiently. And then if I go forward further, it's like specific key, like the one next to paste is also delete if I go even more forward. And then the ones below that are 2 different macros that change you to cut and I forgot the other one. Like the cut button for Premiere Pro, basically. And I forgot what the other one is because I haven't done some video editing in a while. It just kind of like, it's all habitual now. But like there's, I think it's V. I think V just by itself turns your icon into the cut. Well, I think the bottom one's back to normal mouse, actually. Like just normal pointer. So like when I'm doing video editing, I can basically just do it one-handed most of the time. I can do most video editing one-handed, pretty much. Which actually makes it really fast for it to just be one finger, basically, just thumb, thumb. Cut, click, or it's like cut, click for where, click the middle, hit delete, click the back to normal pointer, drag it over, or delete the inside again and drag the whole thing over. Depends on different things as to whether or not you want to do it that way. But yeah, I have my video editing process as far as like the buttons very efficient at this point, because I've been doing it for, I've been using Premiere Pro since like 2014. Did Sai die again, or is that Sophiana? Yeah. Good riddance. No, I'm dead. I'm joking. So yeah, the where'd you go, Zo? Yeah, so I've got all that figured out. So actually, yeah, the pedals make perfect sense to me, because I've done that with a bunch of other things. I know the most back ones I have attached to just like the 1 through 4, which now I'm, hold on, I'm getting distracted now. My stuff on my mouse and not realize. You know when you sometimes just see something that's just like suddenly unreasonably dirty, but it's mostly like kind of out of sight, and you're like, I need to clean that now.
The cracks in my mouse, and I have like a fucking toothpick. I'm going through them, going through and going through the grooves of my mouse, getting all the gunk out.
Yeah, well, when you got 12 buttons on the side of your mouse where your thumb is, a lot of crap gets in there.
Do I
pretty
draft
gross.
this Opria because I need her for a deck, or do I draft the card that I actually need because that'll result in a win?
Yeah, I have no idea, man.
Fuck it, I'll draft the card I actually need.
Like I said, I'm a complete plebeian when it comes to Magic. I know how to play, and that's about it.
You don't even know the draft is.
No, I don't even know that. I don't even go that far.
You get You sit down in the table of 8 people. Each of you get 3 booster packs of the most recent set, whatever the fucking set you want to do for Magic, right? They come out with a new set of cards every 3 months. Sit down with the 3 booster packs from the set. Everyone opens 1 pack. You pick 1 card from the pack. You pass it to your left. You do this until all the packs are gone. You then build a 40-card deck out of the cards that you pick from the packs. From there, it's a Swiss-style tournament until you get a first, second, third, fourth, fifth place, applying rewards to all of those places.
Interesting. You know what? For some reason, that made me think of my strategy for budgeting. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? You know what?
Because they, no matter where you live, there's a local game store near you. They're running at least 2 or 3 drafts a week. They're like $5 to $15 to enter, depending on the level of prizes that store will give. I've seen
Right.
for as little as $6, but there's no prize. But you get to keep all the cards you draft. So it's like you still open 3 booster packs, right?
Right. Actually, I've been to one of those. It was when the D&D one came out.
Yeah, you don't need to
Yeah.
anything. You can show up. A pre-release. A pre-release is a little different. You instead get 6 booster packs, and you just sit down, open all of them, and keep all the cards to yourself.
Oh no, I wasn't specifically like it didn't structure it by the boosters because it was just a D&D box set of just like a bunch of cards in this box. I don't know. I think I remember kind of they were in different wrappers, so I think it just came with a bunch of boosters inside the box. I don't remember exactly, but anyway, you got the box and you'd have enough. I had to borrow a couple lands, but besides, I was basically like a full deck in there.
Usually, how it works is sets come out in like pairs of 3, or like
Mhm.
groupings of 3. So one set will come out; it'll be the new set. You'll get 3 cards, 3 booster packs of that set. Then, if the next set comes out, if you go to a draft, you're gonna get 2 booster packs of the new set, 1 booster pack of the previous set. They're part of the same trio. And then the next set comes out. Now, when you're drafting, you're getting 1 of each set of the last 3 as a part of that trio. And the next set comes out, and all these sets, and they have a pack of the previous set. A lot of the time, there will be special drafts that'll be like using these packs, using those packs. Here's a $90 draft where you use these super extra rare packs that we opened for each of them. You know, I attended a $80 draft at the giant convention I went to for Magic the Gathering because they were opening some like really old school cards, and I ended up pulling a $120 card from all of it. Immediately turned around in my seat, sold it to one of the vendors, used it to pay for another event, lost immediately.
Wah, wah, wah.
Tickets, nothing.
That's funny. I think I've highlighted everything. Oh, nope, I still keep dodging this top play on his backpack for some reason. And then I have to go back and black in basically everything because the dry brush failed. I'm still basically by hand highlighting everything on this dude. I have a bunch more to do. Good lord.
I built a bargain deck with no bargain cards.
Good job. I guess Diablo never came back. And sorry Venom, we never got to your grandmother's story. I don't know if Venom's still here either. It's got totally sidetracked.
Maybe they crashed as well.
Probably. I haven't seen Venom post in a while. Sophie and I had to go up because it was just getting off VC because local stuff happening. And Zly, our new friend Zly, I haven't heard anything from him in a while. I don't think he ever got into the Discord. How dare. It's like I'm gonna send you my fanfic. He didn't say it was his, I'm just assuming because it's funny. It's like, I can send you this fanfic. And I'm like, yeah, send it to me. Here's where you send it. Didn't send it.
Man, I'm not confident in this deck. Half my cards are just random bullshit. I'm running 3 colors, trying to survive.
I'm not confident in your face.
Neither am I, bro. Neither McFucking am I. Considering I run 14 ways, I actually only need one more card to make this deck full. Do I take my combat trick, or do I take...
I feel like I have definitely unlocked one of the better streaming strategies, which is just having a bunch of other people in the stream and just making like free content for you. You don't have to like even do anything. Just let like you and Sophia talk about magic for like 30 minutes straight, and I'm just here painting like, thanks bros. Thanks for the free content. Now if only I was making money off this. Hey. I mean, I might have made like 10 cents on Rumble. Who knows? We'll see tomorrow. You'd be shocked the amount of views I actually get on Rumble. It's just, a lot of them don't stick around is the problem. Yeah.
Deck done. First game. Let's go. And name my deck Taken by Assassin, because those are the most two powerful cards in my deck's names combined, because I'm creative.
Actually, pretty glad a lot of you were around, because the having some kind of like political commentary video for me to react off of when nothing else is going on was definitely working. But because of the thing I mentioned before I started screaming, I could not find something I legitimately wanted to like listen to and react to and like talk about. I saw a couple things that were like, yeah, it's like I saw a couple things like this would be good content, but I do not feel like having this debate if like it comes up, because I could definitely see somebody starring a debate in chat, and I could have this debate. I know the debate. I've had it before, but like I am not feeling it. That's why I messaged you. I was like, okay, alright, what else can I do? Size Online, he was mentioning, like, talking on stream. Let's get him in here. Emergency call. Phone a friend. Phone a friend!
Keep me sane while grinding Magic the Gathering, right? And shit. Just
There you go.
keep me sane while doing this.
Yeah, and you keep me sane while I'm grinding streaming into a full-time. Except the difference is mine can make me money. You're just messing off.
Yeah.
Gotta get your grind on, bro.
I am grinding.
Get the real grind on. This is okay.
Grinding rank.
I've got like millimeters left of like miniature to paint, but the paint has like completely dried even on like the wet palette, and it's just frustrating. It's like I'm using the Pro Krill, so it like comes out like a bottle, so there's no way to have a super tiny amount. Like, no, I just need to so little. It's like the tiniest little like.
This guy's running fucking 3-color too. He's also probably struggling. Either that or he's splashing and he's actually a god and he's about to shit wipe me.
Oh, you know it's the latter. Actually, Sophia's kind of got a point. Now that I'm streaming 6 days a week, or at least that's the goal, really should do more tabletop simulator. Yeah, you need to like get any kind of money and get an actual PC. Like seriously, you'd probably really like the new 40K edition, I think, because like the leaders system in particular is very fun. Have I explained how that works to you?
No, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. So, you know how before, for like 8th and 9th edition, it was, if you have a character, they probably have some kind of ability that's like an aura, so like within 6 inches, friendly units get X whatever bonus. That was like the norm for most characters. How it works now, while there's still a very few number of things that have a aura ability, the vast majority, they have a keyword. Everything's based off universal keywords, which is so much better. It's so nice having universal keywords. If they have leader, you look on the back of their card, and it shows you a list of units that unit can become a leader to, and attaches them to the unit, becoming a single unit. So, like, let's say a Gravis captain, because he's Gravis, he'll list out a bunch of squads that are all also in Gravis armor. Heavy Intercessors, Aggressors, not Inceptors because they're jump pack, Eradicators. So Heavy Intercessors, Aggressors, and Eradicators because they're all infantry Gravis armor, right?
Yeah.
And you can only do with those. So then it'll say he'll have his standard special ability, like the Gravis Captain. It's when he takes damage, it's he halves the amount of damage taken. So like they all have their single special ability. So even if they're running solo, they still have something cool going on. And it's always something that buffs themselves or something like that. But then they'll also have a second ability that says when this model is leading a unit, it does X to the unit. So like captains all have rights of battle where it's like it's basically like that unit can have a stratagem applied to them. If it's a battle tactic stratagem, you can apply once per round a stratagem for free, and it can be a stratagem even if it was already used that phase. So you get to double up battle tactics basically if it has a captain attached to him. Or like a lieutenant, if this unit is leading a unit, that unit gets lethal hits keyword on all their weapons. Stuff like that. So it makes this really fun game of matching guys to units that they all match thematically, they all make sense. So like if it's just a standard Tacticus armor basic Primaris captain, you can go with standard Tacticus armor basic Space Marines, or Phobos guy can go with Phobos dudes, Terminators go with Terminators. Like they all make sense, and then they make specific units, and then it's a super buffed unit, and you don't have these weird awkward like non-lore sensical like mix matches of guys just clustered around a dude because he has an aura ability like before. Like it would be like it'd be like I'm gonna have a Phobos sniper chapter master that is surrounded by like Hellblasters and Centurion Devastators. It's like that, none of that thematically makes any sense for them to be standing next to each other doing anything remotely the same. Because it's like a stealth character with like medium infantry like plasma weapons and then super heavy infantry like anti-vehicle dudes. It's like that's just, but that made sense before in previous editions because it was just auras. Just if they're next to them, they get stuff. Additionally, it also fixes the old problem of like they had to make it so you didn't just snipe characters off with giant anti-tank guns. It was before if you could only target a character if it was the closest enemy unit available to shoot, right? Now if you're shooting a unit and that has a character in it, you have to kill off everything else. All the other dudes are automatically counted as bodyguards, basically. Unless you have a precision tag on your weapon. Then you can allocate, you don't have to, but you can allocate the damage you are doing to the guy, to the character. So snipers can still be, you know, precision. They can still snipe characters.
Bruce Wayne, 24/7. Holy shit, bro.
Are you afraid?
I want to piss and cry, bro. Piss cry.
Okay, I think I finally... Nope, there's still like one edge. This, and then there are characters that are good for soloing that have stuff like, that have a rule called Lone Operative, which is basically you can't shoot at this guy unless you're within 12 inches. They're just flat out. He could be by himself in the middle of a field, and you can't shoot at him unless you're within 12 inches. And there are some characters that give whole squads that ability, which is nutty.
Sorry, I'm getting another knock on my door. Give me a minute.
Uh-huh. He is being summoned. Who summons me? Okay, my voice is starting to give, but it's pretty funny if I use it the right way. I think. I'm entertaining myself. I should think about stopping soon though. It's like midnight. Cool. The Phobos Librarian, when he's leading a Phobos unit, that unit gets lone operative. The entire unit cannot be shot within 12 inches of the unit, which means you can take infiltrators, just like 5 infiltrators, where they still have the within 12 inches you can't deep strike. You can take them and the Phobos Librarian and conga line them at like maximum stretch to still be in unit coherence, and just cover like your entire backfield with a string of like, you can't deep strike within 12 inches, you can't shoot them within 12 inches, so the enemy has to come to you and clear these guys out before they can deep strike into your backfield, which is pretty funny. I can fight!
I can see. I can fight. The Timmy Turner episode.
Oh, yeah.
I can see.
I can fight! Yeah. Yeah, okay. So, I finished all of the highlighting. He now just needs a ton of stuff on the guy blocked in with black. My voice is starting to give, and it's midnight, which means I should probably go get food and then actually go to bed at a decent hour so I can keep waking up at a decent hour and not throw off my new schedule too badly. Yes. Also, I went shopping today, so I actually got food. And ice cream. Yes. Which I don't have to worry about eating because I am consistently getting on the treadmill. Yes! I am doing all the life. I am playing all the life games. Yes! Yeah, I'm just cleaning up. Tomorrow, we shall black this guy in and then, begin working on the next guy, which will be, do I want to do the sergeant tomorrow or the guy that's holding a dude? Do we want to get real brutal? Do we want to not follow the Geneva suggestion tomorrow?
Geneva suggestion. It really is. It really is just a suggestion.
It really is, because the UN is meaningless, basically. The UN is a suggestion. It's more, the UN is more like a guideline than an actual rule. Yeah, alright. I'm gonna close out. I hope anyone watching, I hope anyone watching has a great time. Go to my Patreon, give me money, because then it allows me to keep doing this and not doing other things, because we want to do this more and do more things and do other things and have like added content and like other stuff. Bigger, more, better, harder, faster, stronger. Or is it harder, better, faster, stronger? Whatever it is. Insert Daft Punk here.
Attacking or blocking. I need my white in order to do that. So I think we
And where's the thing I'm looking for?
need the stupid blocks.